Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm your host, David, and today we'll be talking about some of my plans for the upcoming 1 week Infinite Delve League. For those of you who are aware of the game PoE, but not aware of the planned Infinite Delve League coming later, tomorrow actually, as the day of recording on the 11th of December for 1 week. Infinite Delve is a game mode of Path of Exile wherein there will be no content in the game besides the Delve, or Nico's Mine. There will be no soul fight, there will be no act progression, there will be no Lord's Labyrinth, there will be no Einhar, none of the other masters, no Yoon, no Alva, no Xana, etc., etc. So the end game that you typically see of Path of Exile, where you play through the acts, you get to mapping, and you're able to go into endgame maps to the Conquerors of the Atlas and eventually Cirrus. You don't see that in the 1 week event. So normally I play Path of Exile, not like prodigiously, but a bit with some friends. And one of those friends contacted me and proposed to me a challenge. So typically I play softcore trade, probably the scrubbiest mode of Path of Exile you see, because I enjoy playing with friends and I'm fairly bad at the game, so I tend to die a lot. Since this is a 1 week league and there's not much to lose in doing it, one of my friends from my playgroup has suggested that I try out Hardcore Solo Self-Found. Solo Self-Found, by the way, is the only mode being offered in this 1 week Delve League. Because there's no hideout and no towns, you can't get a party going. I'm not really sure how it works, but that's what it said on the announcement post, so I'm just going to accept it. So I'll be trying out Hardcore Solo Self-Found and recording my progress. Normally I don't, record footage of the games that I play, but I think that this will be an interesting thing to document, because normally I'm able to share this experience with my friends. I can't really do that in-game at this point, so I can document it here. Plus, I anticipate I will die fairly soon, so it won't be a lot of footage to navigate, edit, and upload, hopefully. So I told him I would do SSF Hardcore, or HCSSF, I think as it is abbreviated. But I thought, well, I don't want to think about it too hard. And since I don't want to think about it too hard, I'm going to try and do something called Gucci Hobo. Popularized by Ziggy D, he did some private leagues with this. The essence of Gucci Hobo is you play Templar, because he looks like a homeless old man, and you only equip proper Gucci items, or unique items in the game. In Gucci Hobo, you can use only unique items, except for flasks, which I will very much be adhering to. Non-unique flasks, or without non-unique flasks, rather, you will, or I would be dead even quicker, and I think it would just be not fun, and it'd be like 8 minutes of me playing, and then I get like 3 shot by something, and then I die. So we'll be using non-unique flasks. I will be employing a coward strat. I wrote down coward strats plural, but I ended up only really thinking about one right now, and that is I will be using mules to get access to certain things in the game, or certain items that you get in the starter kit, and I will be sort of explaining what they are a bit later. But I will be allowing mules to get access to those items, so that I can have a bit of a smoother experience. So, let's see. There are some interesting things. I went over a few of them regarding Infinite Delve. There's no party play, everything's SSF. There's no Lord's Labyrinth, so you don't have to kill Azaro to get your Ascendancy points. You just grab them from a font that's in the Delve encampment. You can't talk to the Masters, so you can't Beast Craft. You can't try and double corrupt your items with Alva. You can't get certain uniques from League content. Like, I don't think there's a way to get the Coward's Legacy, which is belts you get, or a unique belt that you upgrade in the temple. I think you can get access to most, well, I say get access to most League mechanics because Legion can spawn in the mine, which can drop time-lost unique incubators, which can give you League content, but I think that'll be very, very, very hard to get access to without those tags enabled innately. So my point is, your League-specific content, very hard to get, very limited uniques there. But in order to counter this, or this sort of shift. In addition to the Ascendancy font that you get access to at, I believe, certain levels, GGG has found it within their hearts to gift us certain starting unique items, and we can use these starting unique items as Gucci Hobo in particular, because we can only equip unique items. Getting these starting unique items allows us to get sockets at the start of the game, which means we can use skills, very, very good, and allows us to farm the low-level parts of the delve fairly safely. So we can get access to some uniques at the low level without having to walk around in the dark trying to punch things with our fists. So I'm all for that. I talked earlier about muling, and this is sort of why muling is important. Every mule character gets 5 of the 9 starter uniques. Now this is specific to like each class, so the Templar gets 5 specific ones, and Shadow gets 5 specific ones, so on and so forth. But by allowing mules, I have access to all 9, and it also means that whenever I have a Vol Orb, I can create a mule, drop off the unique that I want to use, and then corrupt it. So I basically have an infinite source of these uncorrupted unique items that I can try and vol to hit some sort of neat implicit. And I will be using two of these items, and I'll sort of go over what they are in a bit when I talk about the very limited gearing that I have. So I have some goals. I have some goals for the league. I don't plan to play to the end, or to get level 100, or to reach depth infinity 1000, or to kill all the bosses. I just want to get towards where normally the story would end, so level 68. Specifically, if you read ahead on the list here, I have level 70 as my last stretch goal. But the challenges I'm setting up for myself is ascending, so reach level 33, use the font, get your first 2 ascendancy points, reach level 50, at which point you get a loot box or a spin of the slot machine for a cosmetic item. Level 55, which is your second ascendancy. Level 60 for a lottery ticket for a giveaway. Level 68, which is the third ascendancy and the last set of points that I'll be going for. And then level 70, which is the I'll call that beginning maps, end of story, and your last, or another entry to a different giveaway. And I think that's what I'll be calling it. So if by some miracle I manage to survive and get to level 70, in the event, that's where I'll be stopping, and I will call it victory for me. I will not be playing anymore. Now, you may think you have a week. You can probably, well, if you put a lot of time in and you are good at hardcore solo self-found, you could probably reach pretty high level in that time. I'm not very good at the game. I die quite a lot in softcore, as I said before, and B, this time, my effective schedule is a lot shorter than what the league would be up for, or is up for, pardon me, or will be up for. The week will be up between the dates of the 11th and the 17th. It ends on the 18th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, or PST. And I am busy. I have finals on the 11th, for courses that I'm taking. I have finals on the 11th, the 14th, and the 15th. So the final on the 15th I have finishes at around noon, which gives me the 15th afternoon, 16th, and the 17th to sort of play the game. And since I don't really want to go into this with a lot of intensity, I want to play it sort of casually. I don't want to spend like anywhere upwards of 4 or 5 hours on playing on any given day. So given that play time, I don't think I'll get above level 70. Honestly, even if I don't die before then, I'm not even sure that I will hit level 70, because I don't play very quickly. But then again, I've never played Infinite Delve, so I don't know what that would be like. I will say, though, given 12 hours playtime, I could probably finish the story. Maybe not on League Start, but definitely with gear. So we'll see where I get. We'll see where I get in this sort of abbreviated effective schedule. So those are the days that I will be playing and the days that I will be recording. I plan to record just a big block of footage, raw, unedited, and posting that to YouTube. And also when the event is done, when I put up the raws, I will also try and make a highlight reel, which will contain when I hit these milestones, or when I hit any milestone I feel is important, or interesting. Maybe any boss fights that I do. When I die, if I die. I should say if I die, but it's really when I die. And maybe if I find some unique item that presents a paradigm shift in the way I play. For example, if I find an Impulsas and I think to myself, well, maybe instead of the build I was going to do, I can do something fun with this Impulsas. Maybe it's better than what I'm trying to do, and I can try and shift my build around to accommodate that. But that's sort of the upload plan. I will be doing all the recording and all the editing and try and upload these all at once, which means it will be coming out after the 17th or after the end of the league. This video I plan to put up on the YouTube channel today on the 10th, mostly so I can link it to my friends in Discord and explain it to them that way and present this, and also potentially to drum up a bit of interest, though I don't expect much interest, if I get any. I've never posted on this platform before, and I think there's going to be a lot of other content creators that will create much more compelling, well-edited content on this temp league for other people to watch. But I think it'd be nice as an archive. As I said before, normally my archive, air quotes, you can't see it, but I'm doing it, is the sort of experience I have with my friends and the stuff we do in group play and the way they progress there. But since this is a solo self-found league, this will be the way, through these videos, is the way that I'll be able to communicate that and share that experience. So now that we've gone over all the administrative stuff and I've sort of very loosely explained how the league will work and how I plan to tackle it, I'm going to go on to the items. So you can see here in the items, I don't have any gear, really. I have 2 pieces of gear, but that's it. The way I should explain my rationale. I did not want to add any gear to the build that I could not guarantee get. And because I'm not allowed to use rares, magic items, or normal items, I can only use uniques. And uniques tend to be finicky in the way they drop, especially without trade. There's not really a way that you can target a unique, especially without div cards. Because div cards is normal. They're normally a way where we can sort of target farm. Not in this case. So I'm only using these 2, which are some of the starter uniques that you get for loading the league, and that's it. So I have really bad resists, and that will probably be a problem. And as much as I'd like to slap a gold rim in here, gold rim in here, or maybe some like cool life belt, unique leather belt, I'm going to let the cards fall where they may, and then sort of fill in as we go, and not have much gear planning. Though I can explain what I do have. Of the 9 starter items, I've chosen the Remnant of Empires, which is a goat hide buckler, which gives you, it's a shield, so it gives you a little bit of life, which is nice. It has the base, or a little bit more than the base goat hide buckler block. It has 28% instead of 25%, which is also pretty nice. It also has 30% chance to block spell damage, which is very nice for a starting item. It also has built-in endurance charge generation, and it gives you all res per endurance charge. So I think there's an innate 3% endurance charge all res. So with this, I think it's 6. So it makes our endurance charges more valuable, and it gives us a nice way to generate them, which will hopefully keep us alive in this hardcore environment that we find ourselves in. And then this Scar of Fate Nailed Fist, I wanted specifically aside from the gem sockets, which will be very, very useful in Gucci Hobo, because I can only equip unique items. That means my socket access will be very limited, and both of these items start with 3 white sockets, so I can just put anything in there, and they're all linked, which is nice. No resources I have to spend on socketing or linking. I use this for the sockets, but I also use it for the level 20 hatred skill. The skill that I'm using does primarily physical damage, so I'm able to get 25% more damage right off the cuff using the level 20 hatred skill that Scarfate gives. Now that we've gone over the very limited gearing, I can go over the skills. So here I have 4 to 6 link, which is a chest piece, or boots, or a helmet, or whatever. This is going to be my main damage skill, Herald of Agony. Minion damage and damage on full life just more damage, pretty decent. Pierce is going to be a quality of life, allowing me to triple my clear, hopefully. Minion speed is also a quality of life to increase my clear speed and increase my DPS a little bit. And then Vicious Projectiles is just a ton of damage, which is really nice. I have the gem level set to 15 because I'm not sure how high I can get it in the limited playtime I have. I should know because I played this game for about a year or so now, so I should have a rough estimate of where they are, but I know it will be at least 15, so I'm just setting those to that. Though I think I will have, as soon as I get access to the gems, if there's a vendor, I'm not sure if there is, I think there is. If there's a vendor, I'll try and put Herald of Agony in there first, and then poison triggers so that I can, get the Herald of Agony up and running, and then swap over to add this cast 1 damage taken movement setup later. So the poison triggers is fairly basic. I just slap a Stormbrand on something, it poisons, triggers virulent stacks from Herald of Agony, which buffs the minion and keeps it active and allows it to do its damage, which is nice. I have a movement set up. It's just very basic. It's a Flame Dash, Second Wind, Efficacy for cooldown recovery, Flame Dash more frequently, get out of sticky situations. Then we have cast 1 damage taken. I plan on getting a lot of endurance charges, as you could tell from the shield. So Immortal Call is a good spell to mitigate damage that I take, which, as you can see, stacks with the amount of endurance charges that I have. So I'll be gaining endurance charges whenever I block, which will be happening frequently. And then when I take enough damage, I'll pop all of those endurance charges off, get a damage reduction buff, and then I can start building those endurance charges back up. So those is fairly simple. And then you can see here, I can't support the hatred with all the gem links, but while I'm still getting these links, like if I take off 2 of them, you can see I have like 54 unreserved mana. So on a 4-link setup, I can still run hatred, and I will be doing so until this mana reservation starts becoming an issue, and then I might swap off to like precision or something like that. I'm not really sure. So that's the gems. All that's left at this point, I think, is the tree. So I took a fairly standard concept of the Herald of Agony Guardian, and I don't know how to build it, so I just sort of winged it. So I came out here. Strength is life. Life is nice. Life is good. Dexterity is something that I need. Minion damage. This seems pretty cool. Intelligence, you can't see, but I basically need all this intelligence. I think 140 is my required int. I take some minion stuff because it's minion stuff. I take some life. Embracing that I don't trust my ability to dodge, so I'll try and get life. Plus, I'm not going to be able to guarantee I get a lot of flat life on my tree, so getting percent will be a way to hedge my bets, I suppose. Getting stats, because my stats are bad. Get more life, get some block. We take glancing blows so we can block more often, even though we take a little bit more damage because we have glancing blows. I hope that the endurance charge generation and the Immortal Call extension of the duration that we'll get from blocking more frequently will be able to compensate for that. Then we come up here. I take Sanctum of Thought, though I probably don't need to. The reduced extra damage from crits is nice. The armor is, I have a bit of armor in the tree. I think it's neat, but maybe not that. We take an endurance charge. I think we take another endurance charge down here as well. One more. Yeah, we don't take the third one, but we take one more two endurance charges from the tree so that we have more synergy with our Enduring Cry. Or sorry, not Enduring Cry. Our Immortal Call. Wrong skill. And we get a little bit more synergy from the shield, which gives us more elemental res per endurance charge. So we take jewel sockets, we take the int, we take a little bit of minion attack speed, movement speed, and damage here. We give them more accuracy rating. And then I come up here for life. I don't know if I need to do that, but I don't want to die. Dying sounds bad. And we come down here, we get more life, we get the endurance charge I talked about, we get a jewel socket, we get more life, we get a little bit of armor, we get more life, we get a little bit more armor, we take those stats. So the tree is fairly standard. It's like pretty questionable on the damage, but I don't plan, or the way the Delve works, to my understanding, is it'll basically be the same as the campaign, and I think that this, or the axe, excuse me, and I think that this tree is sufficient to get through the axe, so I think I'll be fine. And then on the Ascendancy, I take Unwavering Crusade. Ink AoE helps the mortar attack from the Agony Crawler. More attack, cast, and movement speed is good for QOL. Nearby allies do more damage. Being able to unnerve enemies on hit and intimidate enemies on hit. I think the Agony Crawler just attacks, but the mortar might be a spell. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, being able to increase the damage that they take using this would be pretty good. I may add a curse to this setup. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a fan of clicking a lot of buttons. So the less buttons I can click, the better. But maybe adding a third button to curse, or maybe trying to expand this to do some sort of curse on hit, maybe like remove added chaos damage, upgrade this to a 4-link, and then do Hex Touch and Despair. Despair is a chaos curse. Do that to do the damage, because I think do chaos damage as well. Looks like it's Fizz, but poison enemy. Yeah, it looks like it's Fizz. So maybe vulnerability. I can look at the damage breakdown, but I don't want to do that on the video. But I might add a curse in there. Harmony of Purpose for charge generation and being able to donate these charge to the crawler. The Agony Crawler will gain a lot of benefit from the Frenzy charges. It doesn't have an increased cap, but you know those charges are still going to be good. The power charges as well. I don't know what the base crit is on the Agony Crawler, but I don't imagine it's 0, so the increased crit will be nice. And then the endurance charges are useless on the crawler, but in case we're not getting hit and there are enemies nearby, Harmony of Purpose allows us to hopefully generate enough endurance charges to keep us close to our cap endurance charges while we are walking around, and prevent that from falling off, which, you know, it's a nice defensive layer that we don't have to lose. Then, yeah, I took Radiant Crusade. Also, taking this for while there's one ally nearby, it does 10% more damage, which is another more, which is good. It gives us Elirez, which I think we're going to need. And I do not allocate the last 2 Ascendancy points, because I will not be getting to level 75 where you get access to those last 2 points, which is the level of Uberlab. So I think that's the entire tree. I've talked about the gearing. I've talked about my sort of scheduling. I've gone over the skills. This is the passive tree. So I think that's about everything. I'm going to end the video here then. Thank you very much for watching if you've stuck around to the end. And I hope that I can provide some entertaining content for you with the highlight reel at least, because I imagine watching 8 to 16 hours of raw Path of Exile footage with minimal commentary is not going to be super entertaining, but I'll make them both public anyways. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.